I'm Ted from Everything Attachments, and we're today with our version 2 of our alternating depth plugger. Now, it has been such a success and everybody really loves it. I've had a lot of people that don't do anything but lawns, and they really like the alternating depth and the closeness that it does give you, along with a hole that the grass seed definitely is going to make its way out of, and a nice big deep hole for aeration, and how often they are to simply aerify the whole yard. So this basically from the front looks exactly like what we had. The laser cut pieces, we've put the kickstand on it. We've made these adjustable where you can slide them in and out. Now when you get it, they may be in the up position just for shipping, so make sure that you loosen your bolts, put them in the down position for your clevis hitches there. All that's laser indexed and cut, so you can't really get it off except left to right. You just have to loosen it just a little bit. So we put a solid steel shield on it to keep people and so forth. I've seen people riding on these, and I hope I never see that again. There's no reason to ride on this. This one has more weight built into it than any of them, and it's meant to be used just like it is without having to add weight. Now, what a lot of the companies do, like particular Ryan, which has always had a great aerator, and I used them through the years, they use an 1.25 inch axle, and it's solid mounted over here, and their wheels spin just on the axle alone. Okay, so since 99% of the time all the wheels are going straight, we added a 2-inch bearing over here and a 2-inch shaft through this instead of a smaller one, where the whole shaft can stay rotating, and these greased bearings do most of the work, and the center wheels don't have to. So with this big 2-inch bearing right here and riding on a piece of 2-inch cold roll shaft, you just get a ton more of surface area to wear on, because most of the time you're going to be using the bearings, which are meant to go a lot longer than just bushings and so forth. Instead what we were doing was bolting 19 pieces of 3/16 steel together. And our lasers were working just about all night, cutting out wheels every night, especially when it was in aerator season. So we just we started selling enough. At some point you have to start somewhere. We weren't big enough to order, a whole container load or two of cast iron wheels, because you have to find out where your market is for us. But we're making a lot of these, and these wheels are killing us at the factory. So we did get, these aren't Chinese made wheels, at least I can say that. My brother-in-law from North State Sales are where we get our tractor weights from, and he has them all casted in India. So we got him to look into this and get these casted in India for us instead of China. Now, the only reason we're not getting them made here in the U.S., and it's not that the U.S. doesn't cast anything, but they don't cast stuff like dead weights and stuff like that. Simply the regulation and the restrictions are too much in the U.S. to do that. The sad part is they're still getting done in the same earth that we all live in, just somewhere else that doesn't have to abide by the regulations. So if we were all playing on a fair playing field, then we would be able to do it also and compete. They may cost a little more, but maybe we'd save the earth. But anyway, so these wheels actually weigh just a little more than what all the plates did that were burned, and they have a nice grease fitting on each one of them to grease the whole thing. And it does take a tube and a half to get all these wheels and those big 2-inch bearings greased. We came up with these spoons working with a company that have really gotten them the way we want them, out of a really hardened sheet of steel that they roll, and they're really tempered. That's why they've got that nice bell sound to them instead of a thud. So they're not quite as thick, and that's on purpose, because the metal is twice as good. And the thinner they are, the easier they punch into the ground, and they're really, really sharp on the end. So it just takes a lot less resistance to get them in the ground. So every one of these is greased. The center bushing is greased. It takes the weight while you're lifting it also, and then they're just spaced out. But with all of these on here, you've got 16 per wheel at alternating depths, and I've heard nothing but good things about them. We've never had any problems. We are actually going to take about $200 off for the small one, and about $300 off on the larger one, simply because we've been able to save the money. We want to pass it on to you and increase our volume and really get up in the market of this. got any questions, give us a call or an email at Everything Attachments. We'll make sure you get the right one for your tractor. And so the way they really work, this is a 36. And 36, these from tip to tip is actually only 30, just to make it clear. And because you've got to leave a 6-inch gap or more on each side before you make your next path to keep even spacing. But what we were trying to do is keep the overall unit under 48 inches. So if you're doing longs for other people, you can get through a 48-inch gate to get in the backyard. So just give us a call or an email. We'll be happy to help you.